Hi folks, welcome to Yogaphysiozone. This is number 6 in my Beat the Bug yoga series, and today is a core class. So we're going to talk a little bit about the core first of all before we get into it. Your core is basically any part of you kind of from your neck down towards your bum area there. So your torso basically. And we know that having a strong core helps our arms and our legs to work much better, more effectively. So really when we're talking about core muscles, we're talking about first of all the ones at the side of our trunk, the ones at the back of our trunk, and we're also talking about our deepest core muscles inside the front of us going down to our pelvic floor area. And when we're working in yoga poses, even poses that aren't specifically designed for core can really be made to work your core as well. So I'm going to talk first of all about our core meridian, and this is I suppose a yoga concept, but it also aligns with our deep kind of flexor muscle train. So this is kind of like a team of muscles that runs the whole way down the front of our bodies. And I'm just going to stand up for a second. So it starts with our feet and the muscles deep in the kind of arches of our foot. And then it's linked with some of the deep calf muscles, and then linked with some of our adductor muscles, which are the muscles on the inside of our thighs. And from there to our pelvic floor muscles. Now these are the muscles that if you really need to go to the loo and you're trying to hold in quite strongly, those are the muscles that work around your urinary system and also around your anus. So we call those the pelvic floor muscles. So when I talk about pulling up on your pelvic floor, that feeling of kind of holding on tight when you need to go to the loo, contracting the muscles strongly down there. It's also called the root lock or the pelvic floor lock, or there's the mula bandha as they call it in Sanskrit. And then this area is linked then with some of the deepest fascia to our deep abdominal muscle, our transversus abdominis. And then by virtue of that, a long fascia to our diaphragm, and then up along towards the deep muscles of our neck. So when we're actually working our core muscles, we can in fact work the whole body along those different kind of muscular locks, I suppose is what we call them. So when you hear me talking about also about pulling your lower belly up towards your abdomen, if you can, I can show you side on. I'm exaggerating now, but I'm pulling my lower belly up towards my belly button. I'm kind of pulling in my lower belly muscles there, and that's the abdominal lock. That also, sometimes then I'll give the instruction to pull your tailbone down towards your heels, and then that's kind of the muscles here, the bone here, your coccyx. I'm pulling that downwards towards your heels. So I'm going to be giving these instructions during the class, and then hopefully we'll work through it, and we can give you a bit of a core workout. So if you spot me looking at my clock, it's because I tend to ramble on, as you know, and I'm going to try and keep this from here on to about a 25-minute class. Okay? I'm just going to move the camera downwards a little bit so you can see me. So I'm going to get you to come to lying on your mat. Sorry about that. There we go. So coming to lie on your mat. Okay, so just settling. I might take my socks off. Excuse me. Thank you, socks. And then just coming to lie down on the mat, pulling the shoulders away from your ears. And then what I want you to do is what I was just talking about earlier, pulling your lower belly up towards your belly button, which flattens your lower back into the ground, okay? And we'll do that again, just flattening the back into the ground, pulling the lower belly up towards the belly button. And in that position, we're now going to lift our left leg nice and high, trying to hold the lower back in contact with the mat, lifting up the leg and back down. And again, keeping the back pressed into the mat if you can, lifting up the left leg and back down. And if you can, keep your chin tucked in. You can see mine raising up because I've tight neck muscles. So try and keep that pulled in this time. And again, pulling in the lower back onto the ground, pulling the lower belly up towards the belly button, and then lifting the left leg up again. You can point the toes and back down. Let's do the same with the right leg. Lifting up the right leg while engaging the core. And back down. When I say engaging the core, pull that lower belly up towards your belly button, pressing the lower back into the ground and lifting the leg. And all the while trying to keep breathing, okay? Because sometimes if you've weakness in your lower core muscles, you might end up bracing your tummy, or should I say your diaphragm a little bit, which makes it difficult to breathe. So try and keep your breath kind of moving at the same time. That's really important in core exercises. Okay, so let's get you onto your side. Okay, you can roll over onto your right side so you're facing me. And then place your forearm kind of flat on the mat like that. Keep your elbow directly down under your shoulder. And what you're going to do is engage your, contract around your shoulder quite strongly so that you're not kind of like, I suppose, leaning down into your elbow so much. So contracting around the shoulder, you can keep your knees bent for this one. And then we're going to lift up into kind of a side plank. So we're lifting our hips up off the ground. Try and hold. 3, 2, 1, and back down. Now you can keep your knees bent if you want. That's a bit easier. If you want to straighten them out, you put the legs out, you can. Straightening out the legs, you can try that again. Brace your shoulder muscles quite strongly. Like that. And lift up again. 3, 2, 1. And back down. And let's do that again. Bracing the shoulder muscles. Lifting the hips up. Really works the underneath muscles here, the quadratus lumborum. Holding 1, 2, 3, and back down. Okay. Turn onto your belly. I'm going to turn my back to you. Turn over on the left hand side. Again, place the forearm underneath you. So your elbow is underneath your hip or your shoulder. Sorry. Brace your shoulder muscles. You can bend your knees for this if you want to. Then lift up the hips. 3, 2, 1, and back down. Now, if you feel you can straighten out your legs, do so. Don't worry if you can't, just keep them bent. Makes it a bit harder when you straighten out the legs. Engage your shoulder muscles, pulling the shoulder blade kind of down your back a bit. Lifting up. 3, 2, 1, and back down. I'm a bit wobblier on this side. I'm not as strong on my left as on my right. And again, bracing the shoulder blade muscles first of all, pulling the shoulder blade down your back, lifting up the hips, lift as high as you can. 1, 2, 3, and back down. Ooh. Working those side muscles quite strongly. Now come over onto your front. We're just going to go into a cobra position first of all. So cobra. In fact, Sphinx. Sorry guys. Sphinx. So your elbows are directly under your shoulders. Your forearms are flat on the mat. Just going to rest here for a minute. Now pull your tailbone down towards your heels. So you're really contracting. You're going to pull the lower belly up towards your belly button. Just hold that. Pull the shoulder blades down your back. Look forward and try to breathe. Whew. That actually is quite a strong pose if you do that. Engaging all those muscles. And then just relax for a second. You can put the weight on your forearms again. Okay, and we're going to do that again. But this time, I want you to tuck your toes under. And this time, so pull your tailbone down towards your heels. Pull the lower belly up towards your belly button. Shoulder blades away from the ears. And then see if you can lift your hips up. Now, as you can see, I'm not as strong as I should be, and my upper back is kind of arching a little bit. So try not to let that happen. Pull the shoulder blades down and try and breathe. It's not easy to do that. And back down. I need to work on my core more. Okay. And then we're going to do that again. We're going to go into a full Sphinx plank. So you're going to stay in that position. You're going to pull your tailbone down towards your heels. Pull the lower belly up towards your belly button. Shoulder blades down your back. Try not to let that upper back arch. And then pushing into your toes, lifting both the hips and the knees off the ground. If you need to keep your knees on the ground, do. Try and keep your shoulder blades down your back. I find that hard. And back down. So if you're not already warmed up, I bet you are now. Okay. So that's Sphinx plank. That's a great pose. It's quite a difficult pose to do if you engage all your muscles. So it doesn't look like a lot, but by golly, it feels like a lot. Okay, I'm going to get you to come up onto all fours. Here we are on all fours. I've got my hands underneath my shoulders, got my knees underneath my hips. Okay. So again, I'm just going to really make my arms strong, okay? So push into the bases of your fingers like that. That area there, push into those. Roll your upper arms around, rolling them around, engaging your shoulder blade muscles, pulling the shoulder blades down the back, and just stay in this position. Just hold that, really feeling the strength through those hands. Push into the bases of your fingers. Straighten out your elbows if you can. It really works the shoulder blade muscles quite hard. And they are important core muscles because some of those muscles at the back of the shoulder actually go down as far as your waist. So it's actually really important. So just give yourself a small break for a sec. Ooh. You can go back into child's pose for a second. And then coming back up to all fours. So here we are on all fours again. We're pushing into the bases of our fingers. We're rolling our upper arms around so that our creases of our elbows are facing forwards. And now in this position, keeping our elbows straight, trying to keep our trunk really strong so that it's not dipping and it's not rolling or wobbling from side to side. Now I might do a bit of wobbling, so try not to do what I do, just do what I say. So we're pressing into the bases of the fingers, rolling the upper arms around. There we go. And now we're going to lift the left leg out to the side. This is called fire hydrant after, I suppose, dogs peeing on lampposts. So imagine you're a dog. Lift that left leg up high to the side. Keep those elbows straight and try not to arch your upper back like I was doing there. Out to the side and back down. And again, roll the upper arms around. Get your core strong. Pull your lower belly up towards your abdomen. And then lift that left leg out to the side. Dog peeing against a lamppost. Keep the elbows straight. Try not to strain the neck. Working your shoulder muscles, not your neck muscles. And back down, and you can see my breathing is a bit laboured doing this. Someday I'll be better at this, but these are considered to be level 1 yoga poses, but they're actually really strong if you do them right. So let's do that again. Rolling the upper arms around, pressing into the bases of the fingers. Engaging the abdominal lock and then lifting the left leg out to the side. Push into the mat with your hands. Don't let your neck strain. can just let your head drop down if you like, and back down. And we're going to do all of that on the right. So again, pushing into the mat, rolling the upper arms around, lifting that right leg up to the side, trying not to let your trunk rotate like I was doing. Bad knee. And back down. And again, rolling the upper arms around, pressing into the base of the fingers. Lift that right leg up to the side. And back down. I'm definitely warmed up now, guys. Whew. And let's go again, rolling the upper arms around, pressing into the bases of the fingers, particularly index finger and thumb. Lift that right leg, as you can see. Not so good on that side. And back down. I find those really, really strong. Okay, so we're going to do an upward dog, which is also, in my opinion, quite a strong pose, as well as being a back bend. Kind of stretches out the front of the hips, stretches out your back, but it's also got a strong core pose. So we're going to walk our hands one breath forwards like this. Again, pressing into the base of the fingers, rolling the upper arms around, and then drop your hips down. Drop the hips down, engage the shoulder muscles, so you're pulling your shoulder blades down your back, pressing into the arms, looking upwards, and with this one, pull your tailbone down towards your heels and pull the lower belly up towards your belly button. This is really strong when you do it right. And coming back up. You might be feeling that strain on your fingers. Just come back up, do a little bit of a, you can see the way it affects my breathing. And that's the whole thing with core stuff, because your core muscles are attached to your diaphragm, which is a breathing muscle. You have to be really careful when you're doing core stuff that you don't stop breathing, you don't brace yourself and hold your breath. Okay, we're going to do the upward dog once more. Coming forward onto all fours, walking our hands one breath forwards. Push into the bases of the fingers, roll the upper arms around, pulling the shoulder blades down your back. Drop your hips down towards the mat, but keep your elbows straight. Pull up on the lower belly, what they call pinning your navel, where you pull your belly button in. Drop the tailbone down towards your heels, and only if you can, then lift your knees up off the ground so that you're now balancing on your hands but also on the fronts of your feet. Okay? And breathe, and breathe, and breathe. And coming back. Well done. And coming back down. Rest in child's pose for a second, because if you don't need it, I definitely do, okay? Bar it down to the ground, just rest and pull your bum back towards your heels, stretch out the armpit area. Excellent. Now, I'm going to show you how you can turn some of your standing poses into core poses, okay? So I'm going to pick 3 different standing poses. I'm going to just talk you through how you can actually make those work quite strongly for your core. So I'm going to come into standing. I'm going to just move my camera up. Sorry for the fabulous camera work here, folks. So I'm going to get you to stand on your right leg. So you're mirroring me, okay? So thinking about that core meridian the whole way up our leg from the arch of our foot. So first of all, just going to bend our left knee a little bit just to take the weight. So mostly got the weight on the right leg. Push into the 4 corners of your standing leg, your right leg. Pull your kneecap up. Tuck your bum in. Pull that coccyx, that tailbone down towards your heels. Sorry, just lifting up there for a sec. Tuck the lower belly up towards your belly button, and now, only now, see about lifting that left leg up. And if you watch me sideways, I'm lifting the left leg up like that. Okay, so the trick to any of these balance poses is to really engage your core. Pull up on the pelvic floor, pull up on the abdominal lock, tucking in your navel. Brace the bum muscles, pull up on the kneecap, drop the shoulders. If you need to drop your gaze towards the ground, do. And if you can then raise your arms up and even look up if you want to. Can I do this? I'm keeping my shoulders away from my ears. I'm going to fall down. Grand. Okay. Yes. The difficulties of being a yoga teacher when you mess up the poses yourself. We're going to do the same on the left leg. So, standing on the left leg, just going to slightly balance on the tip of our right foot, but push the four corners of your foot into the mat. Pull up on your kneecap. Tuck your bum in. Pull your lower belly up towards your abdomen. And really feel, that leg is like a plank of wood. There is nothing going to move it. And then, and only then, lift up that right leg. Drop your gaze towards the floor if you're actually kind of starting to wobble. I'm a bit more wobbly on this side. And if you can, get the arms overhead. Keep that leg really strong and look up if you can. I usually wobble more when I look up. And trying to breathe at the same time. That's actually quite a strong pose, but I can really feel that on my side muscles there as well. So that's one standing pose. I'm going to show you the crescent pose. So with this one, you're going to get your right leg in front in a lunge position. So I'm going to turn to the side so you can see me. Right leg in front facing forward, left leg behind. I'm lunging forward into that right leg. So the left leg, if you can, keep the knee straight, but you're up on your toes and your back leg. Pull your bum down, so your tailbone down. Pull your lower belly up towards your abdomen. So I'm really making my core strong. Squeezing your thighs together. Really squeezing your thighs together. And then lifting up the arms overhead and looking up and trying to breathe in this position. Get your shoulders away from your ears. I can really feel that in just about every muscle of my body. I'm shaking. But really keep the pelvic floor pulled up as well. And I really am shaking there because I'm doing it in slow-mo. Much harder to do these in slow motion. Let's turn over onto the other side. We're going to do crescent to the other side. Left leg facing forward. Right leg back behind us. Your knee is not dropping in, it's actually directly over your ankle. Press into the four corners of the foot, in the front foot. Tuck your tailbone down towards your heel. Pull the lower belly up towards the belly button. Pull up on your pelvic floor, really engaging the core muscles. Squeeze your thighs together and see about lifting the arms overhead. Try to breathe, try to breathe. And then looking up towards the sky. But again, really engage your core muscles when you're doing this. Trying to relax the upper part of your body, but squeezing hard with the lower part of your body. And back down. Wow. Not easy, folks. We're going to do one more standing pose. And I just, again, picking these ones to show you how you can use standing poses to work your core. So we're going to do warrior two. Right leg facing the front of the mat. Left leg, which is my back leg, facing the side of the mat. As in the foot is facing the side of the mat. Lunging down over that front foot. Now again, pull your tailbone down towards your heel, so you're really contracting your bum muscles. Pull your lower belly up towards your abdomen. Your body is facing me. Pull up on your pelvic floor. Don't forget to breathe. arms out to the side. And then looking forward over your front middle finger, pull your shoulders away from your ears. But in this position, because we're just using this for a core one, really try and pull the lower belly hard up towards your belly button, tucking the tailbone down, pulling up on the pelvic floor, really working the core hard in this position. And coming back, we're going to do the same on the other side. Turn your right foot to face me. Left foot is now facing the front of your mat. Going to lunge down over that front foot. Tuck your bum in. Pull your lower belly up towards your navel. Don't forget to breathe. Keep that knee pulling out so it's over, it's not dropping in, okay? Pull up on your pelvic floor, really contracting everything strongly in your lower trunk. Bring your arms out to the side, drop your shoulders away from your ears. Don't forget to breathe. Look out over that front middle finger. Breathing, breathing, breathing. And back down. It's hard work in your core, huh? So, we're going to do one sitting core pose called boat. This is a hard one, but it's a great one. So you're going to come down on your mat. Okay, you're going to put both feet in front of you, put the feet together, knees together, and then you're going to try and actually pull your lower back into an arch. So what it does is it splays out your collarbone area. So you're really kind of arching your back in this position. Now see if you can kind of get your hands around the backs of your knees. Try and keep the knees together if you can. Straightening out the elbows, but keeping that arch in your lower back. Pull your lower belly up towards your abdomen. Holding that. See about lifting your feet up. Not doing this very well. It's actually quite a hard one to keep your back from kind of bending like that. So keep the lower back arched. If you can, release your arms from underneath your knees. Looking out at your big toes. You can see my legs are splaying a little bit and they shouldn't be, but come back down. This is a really hard pose to do right, and as you can see I haven't perfected it yet. It really works your lower abdomen. So again, let's do that again. Feet out in front of you, feet together. Arch your lower back. Hands behind the knees, coming back. So you're really splaying, you're pushing your chest up towards the sky, shoulder blades back. See if you can raise one leg up. See if you can raise the other leg up. Trying to balance in that position. And only if you feel, yeah, I've got some kind of a balance, then you can take your hands away. This is a really hard one. Eventually we'll be able to do this with straight legs. And coming back down. And then just hug yourself to your knees. Apparently boats always come in threes, so we're going to do that again. Okay, so feet together, knees together, hands behind the back of our knees, arching our lower back, shoulders back, splaying those collarbones wide. See about lifting one leg. You can see I'm shaking. Ooh, see about lifting the other one. And then see about getting the hands away from behind your knees, only if you can. That works about every muscle in your lower torso. And then just, you can do a little butterfly pose just to come out of that. So, not easy. So we're going to finish with a little bridge. This is considered a back bend, but it's also a core exercise as well. So I'm going to get you to lie down on the mat because you deserve it. And actually, so do I at this stage. Lying down on the mat. Feet on the mat, knees bent up. You can put the knees a little bit apart. Drop your shoulders away from your ears. Your palms facing downwards. And then when you're ready, see about lifting your bum up in the air. So you're rolling yourself back onto your shoulders. And this time, try and get your lower back as high up as it can possibly go. And your chest as high up as it'll go. Okay? Now if you can remove your hands from the mat so they're not helping. You put them behind, clasping each other. Or just leaving them lightly on the mat so they're not helping. And you're really trying to get your lower back muscles up as high as you possibly can. And again, breathe in this position. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Ooh. And back down. Oh guys, that's hard. So I'm going to get you to do a little bit of a Shavasana. Just let your legs out nice and straight. And get your arms so that your palms are facing upwards, shoulders away from the ears. Tuck your chin in. Just let everything go nice and floppy. And then just take a few moments just to let your breathing get back to normal. If like me, you're struggling a little bit. And breathing. And breathing. Letting all those core muscles that work so hard, just see if they can soften your lower back, your bum muscles. Just shimmy them a little bit if you need to. Drop the hips out to the side. Soften the lower belly, soften the pelvic floor. Let the backs of your shoulders go nice and heavy, rolling the arms outwards. And then just relaxing the muscles at the back of your head. So well done, folks. That was a short, sharp core session. So take as long as you like in Shavasana, but what you can see is that what are considered to be simple poses, if you work them quite hard, they actually are really quite hard to do. So I hope that showed you how you can work your core a little bit stronger in some of the poses. That's particularly important for some of the people out there who are hyper flexible, that have a huge flexibility but maybe not that much core strength. So we'll talk again, and hopefully when you do my other yoga videos, you can try and add in some of that core knowledge into some of them. And yeah, have a good evening and take care, and we'll talk soon.